Hey, I'm Ryan from The Burnout Show, and today I'm going to show you how to install a crankshaft in your engine, but specifically on a Chevy 350. Now, the process is going to be basically the same for most engines, but I have my Chevy 350 here that I pulled out of this Camaro, which I'm doing a series on rebuilding on the channel, so if you're interested in that, definitely subscribe. We have a bunch of videos already up about the taking apart, and now we're starting the rebuild process. But again, the process is basically the same. There's just, a couple things that are specific to this engine with the main bearing caps and whatnot. So basically the same, but this is a 350. All right, so the first step is going to be installing the rear main seal. Now, the first thing that you want to know about that is that there's a lip protruding from the gasket, and you want to face the gasket with that lip going towards the front of the engine. Now, when you're actually going to install this, super simple. You just place it on that lip at the back of the engine. But there's two main ways that a lot of people like to do this. One is they'll take the seal and they'll push it down a little bit just so it's offset from the plane of the engine. Now, this makes it so that the gasket seal is at a different level from the actual seal of the two metal pieces clamping together. People think that it gives it a better seal, that it'll prevent it from leaking, and that's true. The manufacturer actually recommends it, but the other way to do it is to just make it as flush as you can with the block, and then take a little bit of RTV and coat the surface all around it with the RTV. It basically does the same thing. You won't have a leak that way, or rather you shouldn't. So like I said, you just take a little bit of RTV, put it on there, and then just spread it around nice and thin with your finger. Cover the entire surface. Now, this is just my preferred method. You can do it either way. Both will be completely fine. Also, you should lube the rear main seal with either a little bit of oil or a little bit of grease. Now, if your engine isn't going to be back together and running in the next 3 or 4 days, you should probably use grease over oil, but do what you will. I'm going to use a little bit of white lithium grease just because that's what I have lying around. This will help create a better seal so that you don't leak any oil out of here. So the next step is going to be installing the crankshaft bearings in the block itself. This is also super simple, super easy. There's a small groove in the bearing channels in the block itself, and then there's a small tab in the corner of the bearing itself. So you just need to line those up and push it in. Now, the other thing to note with these bearings that go in the block is that there's actually a hole in the middle. And then there's also a hole in the bearing groove, which is the oil journal. So oil will come up through there and lubricate the bearing. So you just want to make sure that the tab is lined up with the groove, and then also that the holes are lined up as well. And then you just push it in, make sure it's flush, and repeat the process. So up next, you're going to want to take some engine assembly lube. It comes in a lot of different shapes and sizes, a lot of different brands. I just happen to have Lucas Oil right here. And you're going to want to take the assembly lube and just squeeze it out onto these bearings here. You don't need to put a ton, but you do want enough to completely cover the surface. Now, the point of this is so that when you're actually going to start your engine for the first time, the crankshaft isn't spinning dry inside the bearings. Because at that point, the oil won't have had a chance to get up in there and lubricate the surfaces. So this just makes it, it gives it lubrication for the first few starts before the oil fully gets inside and lubricates all the surfaces. So you want to go ahead and do this to all the bearings, and then you'll be all set. All right, so once you've done all that, it's time to actually put the crankshaft in the engine. Now, this part is actually pretty easy, but crankshafts can be pretty heavy, so depending on who you are or what your crankshaft is, you might need to get somebody else to help you with this. But basically, you just pick up the crankshaft and sit it down on the bearings, just like that. Now, once you've done that, it's time to put the bearings on the main bearing caps. So right here, I've got the 5th bearing cap, it's the final bearing cap, the biggest, and the bearing. And same process as before. There's a groove in the main bearing cap, there's a lip on the bearing, and you line those up, and then push it in. So then from there, we're going to install the rear main seal on this bearing cap as well. Once you've added that grease to the rear main seal, you should go ahead and add a little bit of assembly lube on the bearing as well, just like we did on the bottom. Now once you've done all that, you can go ahead and take your bearing cap and put it right on the crankshaft. Now keep in mind that these are gonna have a really tight fit, so it's okay if it doesn't just fit right in. Typically you'll have to take a rubber mallet and give it a couple good whacks to have it seat properly. I'm actually gonna do that right now. Now that you've got the rear main bearing cap seated properly, you're gonna wanna take your bolts and then put a little bit of assembly lube on it. Now, my bottom end kit with the crankshaft and the pistons came with its own assembly lube to use on the bolts, so I'm gonna be using this, but you should be able to use pretty much any type of assembly lube. And just squeeze out a little bit of the assembly lube along the threads, just like that. Then go ahead and finger tight these down in the threads. Now you don't want to torque these down just yet. You just want to do them just till they're tight. After that, we're going to go back through and install the rest of the main bearing caps. Putting the bearings in and then putting the assembly lube on. And also you want to keep in mind that these bearing caps actually do have a specific place and direction that they need to go in. Now if you didn't know that and you took them out and did not store them properly in the right location, that's fine. They should have a number stamp on the right side and an arrow on the left side pointing which direction is forward. So the arrow marks forward, that number marks which location on the engine it is. So this one that I have in my hands points this way, and it has a number 2. So I know that it will go in this position here. But yeah, so it's just important to remember that they do actually have a specific location that they need to go in, and that they are marked if you didn't mark them. All right, once you've got all the main bearing caps lubed and all of the bolts hand tightened down with assembly lube on the threads as well, it's time to get your torque wrench. So the book I have says to do 70 foot-pounds for the inside bolts and 65 foot-pounds for the outside bolts, because this is a 4-bolt main. Now your engine might be different, it might vary per year. So just make sure you look up and double check what torque specs you need to torque down these bolts. Like I said, for me it's 70 and 65. I'm just gonna do 70 all around because 5 foot-pounds doesn't make a difference. Everything will be okay, but yeah, make sure you double check that before you just start cranking them down. And 100% absolutely use a torque wrench, because if you don't want to crank these down too much or not enough, both of those are really bad options. Now when I'm torquing down these bolts, I like to alternate what side of the caps I'm on. So I will start on this side with the inside bolt, then go to this side and do the outside bolt, then go back over here outside and then back over here inside. It just makes it so that the pressure is going down evenly and everything is torqued correctly so that you don't run into any issues. Alright, so once you've got all of the main bearing caps torqued down, you're almost done, but we've got one last thing to do. We need to check the crankshaft end play. So basically what that means is we need to check the space between the crankshaft and the final bearing over here and over here. So basically if this mallet is the bearing on the inside of this cap, this is the crankshaft. It comes up on both sides like this, and you want to make sure that the spacing on both sides is correct. So the range of measurements that you're looking for the spaces to be between are 0.02 of an inch and 0.07 of an inch. So 0.002 and 0.007. So what you'll need to do this is you'll need a mallet and you'll need a feeler gauge. First thing you want to do is take the feeler gauge and grab the small end. So right here I've got the 0.002, and you want to check the space in between the bearing and the crankshaft itself. So on this back side, there's enough space. The 0.002 fits. However, on the front side, it doesn't. So I'm going to need to take this mallet and hit the crankshaft forward a little bit. Not too far, just a little bit. Let's see if that did it. It's closer, but we got a little bit more to go. All right, so it took some pretty hard hits with the mallet and a little bit of pry bar action, and I actually had to loosen the nuts a little bit, but I got it within it's just about 0.02 of an inch on both sides, so it should be all set to go, and as long as you guys get it close as well, then you will be all set. And so that should be just about all there is to it. You've got your crankshaft installed now. Congrats. Like I said earlier in the video, I'm doing a whole series on rebuilding my engine. I've already got a bunch of videos up on the channel about taking the whole thing apart, honing the cylinders, etc. And I'm planning on making a bunch more of these videos moving forward as I get the engine ready to go back in the car. So if you're interested in that, definitely subscribe. Hit the like button if you found this video helpful. And if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. I'll try to answer. If you have any suggestions for other tutorials you'd like to see, leave those down in the comments as well. And yeah, like I said, that's going to be it for this video. So thank you for watching, and I hope this helped.